Charlene, I'm so excited about our show today. You know why?
Could it be because we're hosting together? Could anything top that?
I mean, that's definitely a bonus, but I'm really pumped because we're heading to the west side of Columbus, my part of town, to learn more about the people and places that have shaped that community.
That is exciting, Javier, and who better to take us there than architectural historian Jeff Darby.
We've just crossed the Cider River and we're entering really what's the most historic part of the Columbus area, Franklinton, the west side of the river. Settled in 1797, so it predates Columbus by about 15 years. And there are a few historic buildings left. We're passing the Harrison headquarters, said to be the headquarters of William Henry Harrison, our famously short-lived U.S. president from Ohio, during the War of 1812 while he was commanding military units. And behind it is the Lucas Sullivan Land Office. Sullivan was a surveyor for the United States government and sold off land parcels in this area from that little brick building. As we head west on Broad Street and begin to head up the hill out of this Cider River Valley, the hilltop on the right side, the north side of the Old National Road, West Broad Street, is where the State Hospital for the Insane was built in 1877. It was an enormous building and dominated the hilltop, and was a reason that part of this area developed fairly quickly. As we visit this area, we're going to meet with an expert on the history of the old State Hospital. Hello, Gary.
Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
Oh, just fine. Good to see you.
Good
How
to
are
see you. I'm
Yeah.
doing just fine.
Well, I'd love to hear the story of the old State Hospital.
Well, you know, it's an amazing story. A lot of people don't realize that this actually was the second hospital. The
Okay.
first one was downtown between Washington Avenue and Parsons. It was built in 1838.
Okay.
Legislation passed in 35 to build a new one.
This was a facility for people with mental
Disabilities. The word was lunatic asylum.
Yeah, those are all kind of pejorative terms today, but they were clinical terms in
They
those
were
days.
the terms of the day back
Yeah,
in then.
yeah.
I know it sounds kind of callous nowadays, but that's the way
Yeah,
it was. Tragically, in 1868, the building caught fire. So after the building burned down, they tried to rebuild it, and they decided not to. They purchased land here from William Sullivan Estate. He was
Okay.
the son of Lucas Sullivan,
Right,
one of
yes,
his sons.
right.
They purchased it for $100,000, like 304 acres. It was built on the design called the Kirkbride design,
Okay.
named after Thomas Kirkbride. He was one of the founding members of the American Psychiatric Association.
And what did that design involve?
Design it started like a big center area, and everything branched out through it, so you could add wings into the hospital.
Okay.
Then the center part would go straight back.
And I think
So-
I read until construction of the Pentagon during World War II, this was the largest building in the country under a single roof.
Under a single roof.
That
It was
was-
the largest building.
It was really
Yeah,
something.
Yeah.
Well, and it was a really prominent building. How many stories was it? It was pretty
It
tall.
was actually about 4 stories. Residents were on like 3 floors. They had living quarters for everybody, like the doctors, the superintendent, and everything. In this heyday, it was kind of like a little city within the city. It was self-sufficient, had its own power system. It had its ice house, piggeries and chicken houses, greenhouses and everything.
Well,
So-
would people living here, they would work in those places?
Yeah, a lot of patients did work here until roughly around about the late 70s and 80s. The patient rights system came in, so we had do away a lot of patient labor. But
This must have been a major source of employment for people too. Once it was built, I'm sure there were many people working here.
I would say that most of them probably lived out here on the west side.
And that would have had to help
That
development
would
on
help
the
the
west side. in terms
economy on the west side, and
people
everything.
moving here, people building businesses.
Yeah, when I started to work here, there was lots of people that still walk to work and
sure,
everything and
sure.
stuff like that.
And it
Yeah.
lasted until,
The last bit of it was tore down in 1991.
okay.
One of the downfalls, I believe, of the hospital's demise was it wasn't taken care of and everything. It just deteriorated and everything.
Yeah, sometimes public entities aren't necessarily the best stewards. So it's important, isn't it, to preserve information like this in the memory of a place like this?
Oh yes, it's important to keep all history alive. I mean, they had nowhere to go. We as the employees took care of the patients. You may not like it in the past what they did, but it was part of history. We can't change history.
Well, it's hard to know where you're going if you don't know where you're coming from.
Right. The state hospitals are part of the our history.
Part of our story. Well, I want to thank you for telling me so much and
You're quite welcome.
really enlightening me about a really important institution.
You're more than welcome.
And I have to head off to Westgate Park and look at some more of the hilltops. So
Okay.
many thanks.
Okay.
Talk to you
Take care.
again sometime.
All right. Be
Bye-bye.
good. Okay.
Hi, Dave. How are you?
Good to meet you, Jeff.
Good to meet you. Thanks so much for having me out today to learn about Westgate.
Well, thanks for coming out.
Well, we're here in the park, and it's obviously wonderful open space, but
Yes.
this must have been wildland at one point. Tell me about the
Absolutely.
history of development here.
Okay, well, the west side, it started out as land that Lucas Sullivan held not long after the Revolutionary War. He was the founder of Franklinton, and
Right.
actually he owned a lot of this land. In fact, where we are now was owned by one of his sons. There wasn't a whole lot of development for a number of years until actually about the time of the Civil War. We had a couple of camps downtown or near downtown, but they weren't large enough to hold all the troops that were going to be mustering in. So actually what started development out here was Camp Chase.
Okay.
Over 100,000 Union troops got their start here at Camp Chase. And actually, not only was it a Union mustering center and training ground, it also then became a Civil War prisoner of war camp for Confederate soldiers. And we still have the one remnant of Camp Chase is, of course, the Confederate Cemetery that exists over on 2900 Sullivan Avenue.
Now, I'm assuming the park was created and then housing developed around it. Is that a correct assumption?
It was a combination of both. The West Side community really began to expand after the big flood of 1913 that
Right.
pretty much altered the course of Franklinton's history.
Well, it washed them kind of uphill to the hilltop.
Exactly.
To put it crudely.
And folks had gradually migrated in this direction as Columbus had grown, but it was, of course, after that you really saw the development out here.
Well, getting down to things that I look at, tell me about some of your historic architecture.
Okay. The two most notable items of architecture would be these. First of all, the Great Western Shopping Center, which was a Don Casto development, used to have the Great Walk of Wonders. And then the other is the actual structure of West High School, which was built in 1929. And the school was developed as a prototype for American high schools. And the architect of the high school was none other than Howard Dwight Smith, who, of course, is the same individual who designed Ohio Stadium.
Right. Was there a lot of development during World War II? Because there's a lot of West Side industrial development, isn't there?
But that industrial development occurred just after World War II. Three major employers came to the West Side. There was General Motors, which was the biggest. At one time, there were over 6,000 good-paying jobs that the plant over on Georgesville Road. There was also the Westinghouse plant, and Westinghouse employed just over 3,000 people at its peak. And then finally, the third was International Harvester, and that employed over 1,000 people at its peak. So between the three of them, they provided 10,000 really good blue-collar type jobs for the West Side.
Now that's changed because
Yes.
none of those plants is still here.
That's
I mean, the
exactly
buildings might be, but they aren't the same businesses. I'm guessing they don't have the same level of employment.
And that's exactly right. And that's made it very, very difficult economically for a good portion of the west side of Columbus. The GM plant was completely leveled, and they completely redid the grounds there, and obviously that's a brand new building. And that's provided about 1,000 jobs out here, but that's not the same as 6,000.
Well, do you find people moving in because they see it as a desirable neighborhood, even if they work elsewhere? People are pretty mobile these days.
Well, this is true. And the one really good thing about the west side of Columbus and the Hilltop area is that it's affordable by most people. Number two is it's accessible. It's close to everything. I mean, we're less than a 10-minute drive from downtown. And what we've seen is this become very much an immigrant community as well, simply because the housing is affordable. So it has become now also very much an immigrant community, as well as a community of folks who've been here for generations.
I've learned so much about the neighborhood, and thank you so much for coming out and telling me about it. I
Sure.
really appreciate it.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
So Javier, can you name any of the wonders of the world?
Sure, let's see. The pyramids, Eiffel Tower, Niagara Falls, other stuff.
How about the Grand Canyon?
Oh, yeah.
You didn't do too badly, actually. But did you know that at one time in Columbus's history, the wonders of the world were all in one place on the west side?
Wow, I'm not surprised. It's a pretty happening place.
It's gotta be. So here's that story.
Can you imagine having the 7 wonders of the world all in one place, right in the middle of a shopping center in Columbus, Ohio?
Both my father and grandfather sought to develop a large shopping center on the west side of town. The site they had originally chosen for the development was the site now occupied by Westland. At the last minute, that joint venture fell apart.
So they were looking for a site. They found a site that my uncle happened to own, and they bought it from him.
The problem was that the original site was actually a little bit better site. And it became important to convince the anchor tenants, JCPenney, Gray Drugstore, they'd already committed to the other site, to relocate to the new site.
So he threw this elaborate party and invited all of the tenants. And as the party went on and on and on, Don, I understand, got more and more into the party, and they said, Don, why should we come to this site instead of the other site?
And he told the tenants that if they would relocate, he would build a complete replica of the wonders of the world. And he wasn't that much of a drinking man, but he may have had a few cocktails, and whatever it was, he sort of got ahead of himself a little bit in terms of promoting what he would do to encourage them to go to the new site.
And people had signed up. They had agreed to come. So they had to produce. They had to live up to what he'd said and produce the 7 wonders of the world.
And being a man of his word, he sought to develop the Walk of Wonders.
So they went out and they picked their own 7 wonders of the world. And the wonders of the world cost as much as the shopping center itself to build. This was a really gutsy move. And when you double the cost of building a center, then to try to make the economics work out on it, Walk of Wonders really had to generate a tremendous amount of traffic. Great Western Shopping Center opened up in the summer of 1955. They had invited everybody to this opening. There were county commissioners, there were tenants, there were officials from the city. They also invited a lady from India to stand next to the Taj Mahal. They had Mayor Sensenbrenner throwing a barrel over Niagara Falls. It was quite a stage production.
These were not shabby, cheesy replications. They were very carefully crafted copies of the originals.
The wonders that were there were the Leaning Tower of Pisa, Niagara Falls, both the Canadian side and the American side. They had the Taj Mahal and the fountains in front of it.
If you look at this photograph, you don't know you're not looking at the real Taj Mahal.
They had the Grand Canyon.
They actually constructed a walkway above Grand Canyon, so you could look down into it. You could see the city and the hotels around Grand Canyon. You could see the water flowing.
The Eiffel Tower, which I still have at my house. They had the pyramids and the Sphinx.
When you look at this photograph, I thought, well, no, that's the real thing. And it isn't. That's a photograph taken from ground level looking at the Walk of Wonders. This Parthenon looks a lot better than the one in Greece, I think, which has seen better times. You can see that this isn't just the building of the Parthenon. This is all the ancillary buildings and the other temples that are on the Acropolis.
And underneath the Acropolis and the Parthenon, you could look in a window and they had Carlsbad Caverns. They had bats hanging down and they had little fans that blow the bats around a little bit and make them swing. They had built a replica of the Trevi Fountain. A lot of coins went in there, and they would give all of that money to charity. You got to remember, this is 1954-55. This is before Disneyland opened up. So there was no place quite like this that had replicas and things like that. This is right at the time of the 707. So at this time, if they wanted to go to Europe and see any of this stuff, it was by steamship.
As a school child, I was 7 or 8 years old, and I remember school buses full of children would take day trips to visit this. It was truly a wonderful educational asset to the Columbus community.
It became, at night, a real security problem and a hazard because of people climbing all over it.
As the years went by, it deteriorated. The Ohio State fraternity boys would show up and they would pour detergent in Niagara Falls, and that constantly caused the need to maintain it.
I think it lasted almost 10 years. This was absolutely one of a kind. I've never heard of anything like it before or after, and this was really unique.
What a great legacy to leave behind. I wish the Walk of Wonders was still around.
You know, I do too. And I can't help but think about all the time that went into crafting each one of them.
Well, Charlene, interestingly enough, after that story initially aired, the family of the artist that designed the Walk of Wonders came forward, and we were able to get his story.
My dad, my brother Bob, and myself, we worked on the Walk of Wonders. My dad's name was Ivan Pusiker. He was a designer in charge of the construction of the Walk of Wonders. He was a great sculptor, a great painter, artist. He did the Trevi Fountain, Leaning Tower of Pisa, Parthenon. They would have used clay, making a vacuum mold and almost like a rubber mold. And then they would cast that. Mostly he worked in like a concrete, but it wasn't. It was refined concrete. And that's what they used on the materials for the Walk of Wonders. Then I got hired by Dad. My job was working on the Niagara Falls, and I had to build the little buildings up above. It was a big project. I would look at these things and just was amazed at how they could do this. And the thing is, with Dad, he'd just do it. I mean, he didn't make a production out of nothing. He just did it.
Charlene, one thing I've always appreciated about the West Side is the diversity of people that live there, especially when it comes to the food.
Ooh, that sounds good. What kinds of food are we talking about?
Chinese, Somali, Peruvian, you name it.
Wow. And how about a place to get an empanada?
Of course. And actually, our very own Leticia Wiggins went to visit a taco truck that has a unique take on the empanada. Here's more.
Well, hopefully you guys will love all the smells that are gonna come out of this grill. Yeah, here's the next one. Plum center made.
Oh, right. I love the jarritos.
Amazing.
Oh, thank you. Hey, thanks for meeting up today.
Absolutely, thank you very much.
That's awesome. Okay, so we're here on the west side of Columbus, off of Broad Street, in front of the Westland Mall, and we are at the taco shop.
Yes.
And you are?
I'm Angel Cruz.
Yes, Angel, it's so wonderful to meet you here today. I want you to tell me about this business.
Absolutely. So this business was started back in 2009 by my mom. We started off at the corner of the food truck, or this flea market, and a small little hot dog stand. And we started off basically selling small tacos. We didn't get introduced to these big tacos that we sell now that are really popular until maybe 2 years ago.
So your mom is from Oaxaca.
My mom is from Oaxaca. It's Distrito de Cimatlán and our pueblito San Bernardo Mixtepec. So basically Oaxaca is a big city, and then there's little outstanding like little towns basically around. And where we come from is Valle Centrales, which is basically like central area of Oaxaca. When I went to Oaxaca, when I started to become more of age really, at age 15, we went back to Oaxaca, and I had more of an inspiring moment there when I realized, you know, what people have there compared to what we have here.
Are you talking about ingredients? What do they
Ingredients,
go?
the fresh, the local, it's really something that we can't really easily get here. And if we do get it, it's very expensive, you know? So what we've done, you know, when I went back there, my grandma showed me, it was like, hey, look, we have this there, this. And we still began to make like a little garden at home. And so that's how we're able to produce a lot of our fresh stuff that we use here at the food truck. So these are gonna be the empanadas. I'm gonna make 2 empanadas right now. One's gonna be mushroom and one is gonna be pumpkin squash.
It's so funny because empanadas are different. And
Yeah, so-
people sometimes think of like the enclosed.
The enclosed ones, yeah. So a lot of people, you know, since we've been kind of expanding out more than just the Hispanic community, so we have like people from Venezuela, Colombia, and other places where the empanadas are sealed, basically. And they're deep fried, but not ours. In Oaxaca, we call the empanadas from the corn ones. A lot of people that come, I have to explain, well, it's a empanada or a quesadilla. And they're like, oh, well, we know a quesadilla. Quesadilla are usually flour.
Yeah, so that's like the difference. They're like, it's not quite quesadilla. Those are big empanadas.
Yeah, they're pretty hefty. That's why I recommend one, if you're really hungry, 2, for anybody who wants to try. Usually the most popular ones are the pumpkin squash when it's available or in the season.
There's a lot of different Latin American restaurants
Yeah,
in this
there's-
part of Columbus, which I mean, people might not know about.
Yeah, so there's a lot of, at least here on the west side, you know,
Yeah.
the Hispanic community is very strong out here. So being out here on the west side, it really has impacted a lot of how we manage our food truck and the diversity we try to offer. A lot of people, you know, we've had a lot more American people come out to us, and then the Hispanics are coming out more as well, knowing that now we have offer something that brings them back home, you know. And that's what I always go with, like something that will bring you, you know, closer to home is what I go for. So with the food truck, I try to keep it authentic and as root to Oaxaca as possible, basically.
When people come to your truck, is there like a most popular sort of dish?
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, right now, what we started off back in like 2018 was the big taco. So it's about maybe 6 inches like long. It's rolled up and it comes in refried beans, cheese, and meat. And what stands out is the handmade tortilla. So it's really thin, maybe like 2 millimeters thick of the tortilla.
Can you tell me about working with family?
Yeah,
the
so-
highs and lows, you know?
So absolutely, you know, when I was about 12 years old, I wasn't introduced into the food truck, so I hated being here, honestly. I'm not even gonna lie. I hated being here, especially because I had a lot of friends here that, you know, would just play around. So while my mom was busy at the food truck in the old trailer, I'd just come and I'd snatch like $1 or $2 from the tip jar and go play games. So there was a big incident that happened where my mom got shoulder injury, and it kind of like pushed me into, I have to get into the food truck. You know, I have to provide for my mom and help her out. So that kind of pushed me into the food truck, and I began to do the tortillas on my own. So I started to make them, and you know, first time it wasn't the best, you know, nor the second one, but with my mom's guide, she was able to guide me through and how to make everything. So once I started to realize, I was like, hey, this could be improved, this could be improved, I slowly started to take over the business, basically. She's still here on Saturdays and Sundays, but not as much as she used to. So she let me more go on my own, basically. So I put my own spin onto the food, and it's been amazing. And with Mama Maria being around, it also helps a lot because there's a lot of things that I improve, basically. For example, just for the beans, basically, that we use here. A lot of people just use, you know, put them on the fire and call it a day. But we have to add a lot more other things, more ingredients that just gives it that pop. That's like, wow, well, this, I can taste the difference, you know. So it's definitely just little aspects of working with my mom and Mama Maria that definitely helps a lot.
So what does your mom think of how far the truck has come?
So, you know, we've been talking actually, last month we sat down and had like a conversation, and she's really proud of how far this truck has come out, especially with the Hispanic community and the American outreach, basically, that, you know, other people that are not familiar, or they're familiar with the just small tacos, the little street style tacos, the Mexican cilantro and onion. I've had a lot of people come here and they're like, well, isn't this Mexican food? I'm like, yeah, it is, but it's true to Oaxaca. It's true to the roots of Oaxaca. I love it. It just represents, every time I'm out here, it's, something that I love to do. And I don't look at it as a job, it's more like I'm serving my community, basically.
So you're not taking $2 from the tip
No,
jar and
not
playing games
anymore.
anymore?
No,
Okay.
not anymore.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I love doing it. And it's amazing. I love to see, people smile when they eat the food.
Angel, thank you so much for being out here with me today on the west side.
Absolutely.
Great, thank you.
Thanks for being with us. And remember, you can catch all of our episodes on columbusneighborhoods.org.
Plus, see our stories on the WOSU mobile app. And you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
We'll see you back here next week on Columbus Neighborhoods.